So my question is concerning the Bush administration's actions in regard to the inquiries that we've had into September 11th.
Mm-hmm.
First, in December of 2001, after several members of the House introduced legislation for a 9/11 investigation, White House spokespeople just said right now the president is focused on the war on terror. Then you have Bush and Cheney urging Tom Daschle to avoid any inquiry into 9/11 at all. And the House did move forward with that inquiry, but many said it was a failure because they received minimal cooperation from the administration. And after backtracking and saying he supported the creation of an independent commission and saying he didn't, the president finally endorsed the creation of what became the 9/11 Commission. And I'd just like to list a couple of details in regard to that commission. The starting budget for that commission was $3 million when the Clinton scandal investigation cost about $50 million. Bush first tried to appoint Henry Kissinger head of that commission, but he resigned due to a lot of opposition from the family members who were in charge of oversight. The White House was repeatedly accused of stonewalling information and stonewalling the commission, blocking access to papers and records in regard to 9/11. And the president and vice president met with the commission only together behind closed doors, not under oath, and with no transcript of the session. Senator Max Cleland resigned from the commission, calling it a national scandal. And there was recent news about a possible connection between Karl Rove and the commission's executive director, Philip Zelikow, at the time of the 9/11 commission. This, coupled with Zelikow's already known relations with Condoleezza Rice, represents a serious conflict of interest. So I just want to know, and I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to be provocative, but I just want to know why the secrecy.
Well, first of all, I would remind you, I've been press secretary since September of 2007. So you're asking a lot of questions that took place on things that took place before I was even working at the White House. So let me finish, please. I would caution you to go back and look at some of the sources of the information that you just stated as fact. Because one of the things that is going to be important in your life as a journalist is separating spin from both sides and getting to the truth. And let me point you to the final aspect of that 9/11 Commission was if you could look at both of the chairmen from both sides of the aisle, believe that they got good cooperation from the administration. There are times when you have to have secrecy, and you try to balance that based on the public's interest and protecting the public and the people's right to know, which the president strongly believes in. We have not been attacked again since September 11th, when 3,000 of our citizens were killed. That is not an accident, and the president believes strongly that every man and woman who works in our federal government trying to protect our country deserves his respect, his support, and I think that on balance, if you strip away some of the things that you've just said that I know to be spin from the other side, that there's a much more a balanced way to look at this. Is everyone going to agree? Absolutely not. And we'll have to let history sort that out. But I would point again to the fact that we have not been attacked again, and that is not an accident. And it's not just because of Republican action. It took both Republicans and Democrats working together to make sure that that didn't happen again.
Thank you very much. I will just say that all the information just came from the mainstream media.
Again, I would ask you to go back and look at your sources.
Mainstream media. That's what I'm just saying. It's not like I took it from someone's blog or.
Okay. Does anybody else have a question?